Hello, friends. It is Jibson. Welcome to Out of the Park Baseball 26. Welcome to a brand new Out of the Park Let's Play. New to you, not necessarily new from the start of the game, um, and not necessarily a familiar team on your screen. You may see the year is 2030. It is the New Year's on a new decade, January 1st, 2030. That's right. We are 5 seasons into an out of the park save that I've been playing on my own. Started as a personal save, wanted to pick up and start recording it and putting it out as Let's Plays. I've been having a good time. Thought people might enjoy it. Didn't want to start over because I've really enjoyed this save. So here we are, starting in media res, as they say. But don't worry, I'll catch you up on how we got here and really who we are. The Montreal Rogues started in the wake of the roof of Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida, collapsing during a hurricane. In real life, of course, the Tampa Bay Rays, moved just across town to a minor league ballpark that owned by their rival New York Yankees. In this universe, the owner decided enough was enough. He was sick of dealing with the city of Tampa and Florida, and a historically great baseball town came calling with an already built stadium. And so the owner picked up the Rays, moved them, and rebranded them as the Montreal Rogues. That's right. Baseball is back at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We have the Olympic Stadium. It is a dome stadium with a capacity of over 60,000 people. These are the ballpark factors for our created sort of custom stadium. The wall dimensions, it's symmetrical. The left and right field are all the same. It's a big, circle out there. It doesn't have any weird inlets or kinks or anything. Just a big round outfield, and that's where, since the start of the 2025 season, the Montreal Rogues have played all of their home games. So before we go more into who the Rogues are, what we've been through as a team, who's on the squad, let's take a look at how the league has gone on. Let's see who the champions have been, and learn a little bit more about how we got here in the last 5 seasons. In 2025, as we all are predicting for this current year, the Minnesota Twins are your World Series winners, led by manager Rocco Baldelli. Carlos Correa led the way with a 5.6 WAR season. Byron Buxton played about half the season as expected. And then, just some decent enough seasons. They were a good team and they made it count when it mattered. John Duran had an incredible season in relief as the closer. Joe Ryan was fine. Pablo Lopez fine. All that matters is how you do when you get to the playoffs. And these guys were hot. I mean, they won 93 games, so they did have a good season in the regular season. But not on the surface what you would expect from a World Series champion team, but they got it done. The road to that championship went through first the Houston Astros. They earned the first round bye, won in 5 games against the Astros, then swept the Orioles in the league championship series, and then easily dispatched of the Dodgers in 5 games to win the series. Next, in 2026, your World Series winners are the St. Louis Cardinals, finishing the regular season with a record of 88-74. They made it count when it mattered. They rode the hot bats and their good pitching and won the World Series, led by Luis Robert Jr., Mason Wynn, Brendan Donovan, all having 4 WAR seasons. Ivan Herrera, Colton Cowser, Pete Alonso signed as a free agent after he must have not re-signed with the Mets after 2025. Chris Bubich, Robbie Ray, a half a season of Max Fried, Kenley Jansen as the closer, Andrew Heaney, Yeah, Ali Marmol just made it work with these guys, and they won the World Series in 2026. Got there. They started in the wild card round. They did win their division. There's no other NL Central teams here. They made it through the Nationals in 3 games, winner take all for that. Then they Dodgers pushed them to 5, so they won another winner take all game here. Then the Mets pushed them to 7 games, and once again, 3 series in a row, they won the all or nothing game to face the Yankees, who they beat in 6 games. Congratulations to them. The year was 2027, and your eyes do not deceive you. That is the Oakland Athletics World Series champions. And yes, that is Oakland. They have returned to Oakland. They figured out in this universe a deal with Oakland. They have a brand new Oakland Coliseum, and they used that in their first year back in Oakland, mind you, in 2027, to win the World Series, led by manager Mark Kotze. Nick Kurtz, Brent Rooker went absolutely insane this year with the bat. Lawrence Butler, Max Muncy, not that one. Jacob Wilson had a good season. Mac Horvath uh, was great for them this year. Shea Langoliers, some of the usual suspects, a couple of people you might have not expected. Mason Barnett, Connor O'Halloran were 2 of their best pitchers. Mitch Spence also there. Ryan Pepio, again, another guy who you might be surprised to see here. Yeah, they made it work. They were a great team. They won 93 games and won the World Series. Here's how they got there and got it done. They got the bye in the first round, dispatched to the Guardians in 4 games. Then the Orioles pushed them to 7, but they won the winner take all. And then it was just routine. The all California matchup between the A's and the Dodgers, and they absolutely destroyed them, swept them in 4 games to win the World Series in 2027. Orioles, but don't worry, and if you're an Orioles fan, in 2028 they did get it done. They won 100 games in the regular season and rode that to World Series success. Brandon Hyde, the manager, and then, the usual suspects. Jackson Holliday, 7.8 WAR, Gunnar Henderson, 6.5, Kobe Mayo with a great season. Their pitching was, good enough to get it done. Jared Koenig, Justin Steele, Robert Garcia as the closer, and then Midge Keller, Dylan Cease, AJ Puck, some of their standout guys. They got it done. They won 100 games. They got the bye from the AL East. They beat the Boston Red Sox in 3 games. They swept them in the division series. Then they beat the Royals in 7 in the championship series, and then beat the Nationals here in 6 games to win the World Series. And finally, in 2029, the most recent season that just passed, the Detroit Tigers won the World Series. A bunch of really good champions of teams who haven't won in a long time, besides the Cardinals, of course. All the other teams, first of all, in the American League, and also who had long World Series drafts that they were able to snap here. So that's very exciting. Love to see that kind of parity in a out of the park save. Anyway, AJ Hinch, manager. Colt Keith, great season. Tyron Lorenzo has turned into a great player. Max Clark, Gavin Conticello, Dylan Dingler's one of their catchers. Some of these other guys, Chase DeLauder, O'Neill Cruz at shortstop, played 151 games for them. On the pitching side, nothing, no real superstars at the top of this list. Albert Ramos, Mike Massey have done pretty well. Jackson Jobe here. They don't worry, they do still have Tarek Skubal. He just got hurt. He only pitched in 3 innings this game and in this season, and they still managed to win the World Series. Absolutely incredible from them. They obviously had the bye again. They won a lot of games. They swept the Rogues. They swept us in the division series, beat the Mariners in 6 games, and then, just brutal. The Nationals 2 years in a row making it to the World Series, 2 years in a row losing. The Tigers beat the Nationals in 6. Congratulations to them. And we'll quickly show you the awards from the last 5 seasons. We'll start here in the American League. Aaron Judge won his 3rd MVP in 2025. Garrett Crochet wins his first Cy Young. Roman Anthony comes up and wins Rookie of the Year quite handily. And John Duran, 3-WAR season in relief for the champion Minnesota Twins. 2026, Anthony Volpe making it 3 years in a row of Yankees and 4 out of the last 5 years. He had an incredible season, obviously. Shane McClanahan wins the Cy Young. He threw almost 200 innings and had a great season. Okura Shishido was a generated international signing for Toronto, and he had just a great season. He absolutely mashed. And Sam Hentges for the Guardians was the reliever of the year. Then Gunnar Henderson wins his first MVP. George Kirby gets the Cy Young with 22 wins and 218 innings pitched. Justin Campbell from Cleveland was a pitcher, had an awesome season, won Rookie of the Year, and Edward Diaz, now a Yankee, won Reliever of the Year. Jackson Holliday, MVP in the year they won the World Series, just absolutely crazy year from him. Cole Reagans, Cy Young, Gavin Turley, Rookie of the Year. He's developed quite well, and Brian Abreu had as not a closer, won Reliever of the Year for us. And then Julio Rodriguez with just an insane season from him to win his first MVP. Garrett Crochet gets his second Cy Young. Fortunato Letizzi, an international signing from Italy, wins the Rookie of the Year as a 34-year-old for the Astros. And Hobie Milner wins the Reliever of the Year. Now in the National League, Mookie Betts won his in 2025, his second MVP. Kodai Senga gets the Cy Young, and as you see, he was not done there. Roki Sasaki probably, he was probably close runner up for the Cy Young, but he got Rookie of the Year in 2025. Ryan Walker gets reliever. Acuna gets his second with a great season. Kodai Senga, back-to-back Cy Youngs for the Mets. Manuel Mendiola gets Rookie of the Year for the Phillies, and Danny Columb gets the reliever also for the Mets. PCA, just an awesome year in 2027, wins MVP. Corbin Burns gets his second Cy Young. Jordan Villar's back-to-back Phillies Rookies of the Year. And Blake Snell, who in this year was the closer for the Dodgers, wins reliever of the year. Leonidas DeVries wins MVP as shortstop for your San Diego Padres. Kodai Senga bounces back from a disappointing 2027 to win his third Cy Young. Drew Farrow from the Cubs gets Rookie of the Year. Felix Bautista was a stud for the Mets after Edwin Diaz left, apparently, in this season. And Spencer Jones, Diamondbacks, wins MVP. Kodai Senga, 4 Cy Youngs in 5 years. Angel Guzman wins Rookie of the Year for the Giants, and Emmanuel Clase wins his third Reliever of the Year. And let's just take a look quickly at Kodai Senga here. I mean, 4 Cy Youngs in 5 years. That's just absolutely nuts from him. He's 36, so he's probably going to start tailing off. I say that, maybe he'll probably have another great season. This forkball, just the game absolutely loves it. He's got, just insane numbers. I mean, pitches a lot, but really just gets a ton of strikeouts. I mean, he only threw under 200 strikeouts in the year that he was traded, and he was right there, 198. He hit through 249 strikeouts in 2025 for the Mets, and 232. So just absolutely insane, for a age 30 and above pitcher. He's been awesome in this save. Probably one of the standouts in terms of guys not on our team who just wanted to point out there. Now let's take a look at our Hall of Fame results for the last few years. 2025 voting results. There were no people were inducted. Billy Wagner got close in his 10th year. Unfortunately, in this universe, he does not make it into the Hall of Fame. This year nobody made it. A couple guys who got close, Barry Bonds, but he dropped off. This is a glitch. He does not. This I think was supposed to be his 10th year. Same with Roger Clemens. Those guys are no longer on the ballot. In 2026, Ichiro Suzuki is the only person elected on his first year of eligibility. only 84% of the vote. In this game, I guess voters don't like him as much as we expect the voters in real life to get him in. Carlos Beltran got close. CC got close. Andrew Jones very close. Even A-Rod's up here. He's still hanging around. We'll see if any of those guys can get in the next couple years. 2027, only Carlos Beltran was inducted. Andrew Jones gets close, but ultimately falls off the ballot, unfortunately. CC, A-Rod, Buster Posey gets a decent amount in his first year. Let's see if any of these guys can get in next year. 2028 had 5 guys elected, led by a strong class of, first ballot guys. Robbie Cano, Yadi Molina, Albert Pujols, all those guys get in on their first try. CC gets it over the line, as well as A-Rod in this universe. In 2028, the voters have forgiven him. He has girl bossed his way to 90% of the vote and an entrance in the Hall of Fame. And just last year, 2029, Miggy Cabrera gets 99.7% of the vote, which is just crazy. I don't think he'll get in first try. I don't think he'll get that percent of the vote, as well as Zach Greinke both get in on their first try. Joey Votto, Adam Wainwright, strong showings in their first time on the ballot. And we'll actually have a voting result coming up here in a couple of weeks for 2030, and we'll see if any of those guys can get in. Now, let's get back to the Montreal Rogues and see how we got here. So, the Rogues have replaced the Rays entirely in the AL East. So now the Montreal baseball team is an American League team. They compete against, obviously, their arch rival Blue Jays in the same division now, and as well as the Red Sox, the Orioles, and the Yankees. 2024, of course, last year of the Rays. We took over at the start of the 2025 season and had a tough year. Finished 5th in the division, 73 wins. Not great. Next year, much improved. We finished 4th in the division despite having 87 wins. We made the playoffs, obviously have not won the World Series in any of these years. Next year, we regressed, lost 10 fewer games, still finished 4th. Then we've had 2 excellent years, 98 and 93 wins respectively, but just couldn't quite get it done both in the playoffs and even in the regular season. We finished 2nd both of those years. 2028 was behind that juggernaut 100-win Orioles teams, and then last year the Red Sox pipped us to the division title by 1 game. Our owner is still Stuart Sternberg. He is the current real-life owner of the Rays. Well, maybe not exact current right now. I think that they're in the process of selling or have just sold. But in the start of the save, Stuart Sternberg is the owner of the Rays. He's moved us to Montreal. He has been a good owner. He's increased our budget year on year as we have improved. And most of that is as a result of attendance steadily going up year after year. Some of that has been because we've brought in good players and we've improved the team. So people are coming to the ballpark, and that has led to us having more and more money to spend. We have gone from a bottom of the barrel organization in terms of budget and payroll to about middle of the pack. Our budget is 21st, but we have a lot of that committed to payroll. At the moment, it says we are the 11th highest payroll in the league. So as we just looked at, this is the team record. You can see I am both the manager and the GM. We started out not great, but we had to do with what we had. Didn't make a ton of transactions and had not a lot of money to play with. So this is really just the current squad of the Rays that we had to work with. Finished 5th, not a good season. The next year, we were very, very successful, improving our score by 14 wins, above 500. The division was just absolutely stacked. We finished 4th in the AL East after winning 87 games. We made it through the wild card and then lost in the division series in 5 games. Then we had a bit of a regression. I think we had some injuries, and our guys didn't perform as well as they should. We regressed back to a non-competing team. We didn't fully tank. We did mostly sell at the deadline, but we didn't fully tank in order to get as high of a draft pick that we maybe would have been better off doing. But instead, we won 77 games, and it's kind of an average to below average record. But you know what? We turned it around, and next year we won 98 games and lost in the wild card series, of course, because we didn't win the division. We didn't get the bye, and we got knocked out of the playoffs immediately. It was absolutely brutal. Then last year, a little bit of a regression. I think we were expected to win like 98 games, but we ended up winning 93 based on the Pythagorean record. But you know what? We were awesome. We got a little bit less, fewer runs, and even fewer runs against. Under 600 runs against in a full season is absolutely insane for a Major League Baseball team. Our pitching has been awesome, really the highlight of this team, for the most part. But of course, we didn't get the bye. We had to face the Tigers in the second round. In the division series, who ended up going to win the World Series, and they swept us after we swept the Yankees in the wild card. So, all in all, pretty good. We've had a above 500 record combined in our time here, and we're looking to keep going. Just a quick look at our decisions up to this point, some of the trades and acquisitions that we've made that have gone well and not so well. You can see our best transaction by far is Max Fried. He's put up 14 and a half WAR for us after we traded for him at the deadline in 2026. I mean, we traded for him from the Cardinals, who won the World Series. So don't know why they were selling him. But he came to us and got a World Series ring despite not playing for the Cardinals down the stretch. Trevor Rogers was pretty good for us. He's actually a free agent now. He just wanted way too much for how good I think he is. Drew Romo, Mason Miller have also been quite solid. On the other hand, we have Chandler Simpson, Taj Bradley, Mac Horvath, Ryan Pepio, have all been good after we traded them away. Chandler Simpson went to the Guardians, and he's been pretty good. That's all like that's 9.7 WAR over like 4 seasons though, and I think almost all of that came in a single season. So I'm not too pressed about it. Taj Bradley has actually developed quite well. I just got sick of him. He was just so inconsistent for us in those first couple of years, and I ended up dealing him for. We had some good enough pitchers, and I needed a new catcher, so I think I traded him and some of these other guys to the Rockies for Drew Romo, and a few other guys. Mac Horvath, he was not even on my radar. He's become quite a good player for the Athletics. Pepio is not even on the team that we traded him to anymore. Over here, best trade, obviously the Max Fried trade was very good. We dealt Cedric Mullins, who we had just recently acquired at the time. This one was just a couple years ago. We sent Jose Trevino and a good prospect to the Padres. We got Jackson Merrill and Ben Rice. Jackson Merrill was really good for us in that half of the season, and then he got hurt. So we'll take a closer look at him. Obviously, it doesn't love this trade to the Athletics. We sent Pepio and Horvath over there for Mason Miller. It says we got 7.7 WAR lost. I mean, Mason Miller has just been a stud for us, really. Even if he's not putting up the WAR, he's been our closer ever since. And these guys just never probably would have produced this much for us. So honestly, it says it's a loss. I think it's more of a win-win. Chandler Simpson we sent to the Guardians for Stephen Kwan, who was pretty crappy for us, honestly. But and then so a couple of other bad trades, couple of good trades. I'd say on average, probably best if I just stop trading. It all is kind of random and not going that well, or it goes well, and but I love trading. I love making transactions, making deals. So I can't be stopped. Now I would love to introduce you to some of the players that we currently have going into this 2030 season. We're a bit through the off season, so we're hoping to add some guys still, but we don't have a ton of money, so this is really like anybody who we add will be kind of role players most likely. These are our stars. These are the guys who we expect to bring us to the promised land, hopefully in the next few seasons, or at least this year. Starting with Shane McClanahan, he has been really good for us. Unfortunately, he is a Rays pitcher in his 30s, so he is absolutely toast. He was really good for us in the first few years, three straight four-WAR seasons. He won the Cy Young in 2026, as we saw previously. He's been an all-star a couple of times. And then he just got hurt. He got hurt halfway through 2028, missed the second half when he was on an absolute tear. I mean, that's 3.4 WAR in only 20 starts. So imagine if he had kept going at that pace. He joined us, and then so he missed the rest of 2028, came in to start 29, and got hurt almost immediately, only ended up throwing in 8 games, and he came back for the end of the season in the playoffs, but just isn't that good. He's wrecked. We're working on strength and conditioning. Maybe we can get him back. Um, he is still, he's a really good pitcher for us. He gets a lot of strikeouts. He's on a lot of money. Um, his current contract, we got him for one more year before a potential opt out. I'm not quite sure what to expect with this. If he doesn't opt out, we could be only have 3 more years of him, and if he's not worth 35 million, that would really suck to have to eat that payroll. But we can get out of it after 2033. Hopefully he pitches really well for us, and maybe he does opt out. I'm not really sure what to make of him. We'll hopefully get one more really good season, and we'll see where we are at the end of the year. Our second pitcher is also a lefty, and it's Max Fried. We traded for him from the Cardinals. He's actually still on the original contract that the Yankees have him on for the start of this game, but we are only paying 50%. You can see the Cardinals retain 50% of this whole salary, so we're only paying 15, 16 million a year for him, and he has been obviously absolutely worth it. He's still pretty good. He's 35, so he's regressed a decent amount, and he's just been pretty much solid for us. He's barely been hurt. He's thrown, 34, 35, 32, 31 games in the last four full seasons. I mean, this was not all with us, but he's been good. He's been worth 14 and a half total WAR for us. He has a little bit of above average. He's been fine. Probably worth the money that we're paying him, so we'll absolutely take it. And yeah, we'll see if hopefully he's worth that for the next 3 years that we have him. Next, we have Santiago Suarez, who starts in the minor leagues for the Rays. We have developed him into a useful pitcher. His stamina's a little low, and he's been good. That's about all I can say about him. He's still on arbitration, even though he's had 4 full seasons. He's had 4 full seasons with us. We started him in 2026, and he's been good, I guess. The 1 year he was injured a little bit, still put up 2.5 WAR. Um, he's been average or just above average his whole career. He hasn't cost us a lot of money. I don't know what to do with him, really. I think depending on how the season goes, he might be a guy we look to trade. But he is just like a good depth. He's number 3 or towards the end of the season, number 4 when we get a better guys. Yeah, Santiago, he's been fine. I don't really want to pay him much more than this. So if he has a high arbitration next year, we might look to trade him. But he's currently our third rotation guy. Hopefully he has a good season for us. Our fourth starter is Jason DeCaro. We drafted him in 2026 and have brought him up to approximately big league level. At times, he has been a top prospect in baseball. Obviously, he has regressed in his potential, and he's now pretty close to that. But he's okay. Um, he pitched in 19 games for us this year. Last year, we gave him a cup of coffee in 2028, and he was just awful in those 2 starts. Last year, we gave him a chance. He was kind of back and forth, and he was below average, but fine. Pitched in the playoffs, did pretty well as a reliever. We're going to give him a chance once again at everyday pitching. He's still ranked as a 39th prospect. I expect by the start of the season he is no longer on the prospect list, but yeah, hopefully he progresses a little more. He might end up just being about as good as Santiago Suarez, honestly, except he has actually good stamina. Next, I want to talk about Jairo Iriarte. Although you can see he is injured and out, won't be back from Tommy John for maybe he'll be back before the end of the season. Says 9 months. It's 1st of January, so maybe he could come back at the end of the season or for the playoffs. We traded for him from the White Sox a couple seasons ago. He was a reliever for us in that season, and then last year we used him almost entirely as a starter, and he was pretty good right up until he got injured for us. I was not intending to tender him. He was on arbitration. We ended up giving him, $4 million this year for a guy not to play who's really not that good. But unfortunately, my hands were tied. He is a very popular player with this club because he threw a no hitter last season. That's right. He threw what I believe is the second no hitter. I think I looked it up after. I think it's the second no hitter in Rays Rogues franchise history. That was against the Red Sox of all teams, who would go on to win our division. 9 innings, no hits, no runs, only 2 walks, 101 pitches. I was, can't we can't we can't get rid of this guy. We got to give him another chance to bounce back. The fans would have it any other way, and I do want to treat this a little bit more realistic, and I like to role play in these situations. I'm not going to make the min-max decision every single time. Jairo Iriarte is going to have another chance with the Rogues just because he threw a no-hitter for us. He deserves it. Moving on to some notable bullpen guys. Luke Little has been pretty good for us. He's really fun, kind of prototypical left-handed uh, reliever, lefty specialist, low control, high stuff, throws a fastball and a slider really well, and then has a splitter that he can mix in. Low stamina, strictly bullpen. And yeah, the last 2 years, 61 and 60 games. He was really good, 2.21 ERA plus in 28, 141 last year. That just kind of comes down to looks like BABIP, luck, a decent amount of strikeouts. That's a really good strikeout rate last year, obviously. Yeah, he's fine. He's really cheap. And yeah, we like him around here. He came over from the Cubs in the offseason, or yeah, we claimed him on waivers at the start of last season. That's right. Or 2 seasons ago. So he's been a great pickup, especially just as a lefty option, and he's still around. He's also 6'8", which is fun, not so little. Next, we have Jamie Wright. He is a 2027 first-round draft pick. Obviously, hoped that he would be a starting pitcher for us. He is not going to be a starting pitcher for us in his going forward in his career. He only has 7 stamina. He is going to be transitioned into a bullpen arm for us. He only has one game where he started for us last year. We called him up. He had a really good season in AAA last year. The year before that, he lit up AA. So we were really excited about him, and unfortunately, his stamina just is not going to cut it at the major league level as a starter. We gave him one start. We needed somebody to fill in, gave him a shot. He was great. 5.5 in the third innings, didn't allow a run, only 3 hits against. So that was great. So hopefully, he's got some good ratings. We're going to give him a chance here in the bullpen to start the year. And finally, we have Mason Miller. He is our closer. He has been our closer for the last 4 full seasons. We traded for him just at the very beginning of the 2026 season, obviously with the Athletics. He went from one green team to another, and he's been good. He's got good numbers for us. A decent amount of saves. That first year, I couldn't figure out why he only had 13 saves. We were a good team that year. We made the playoffs. So I don't know if we were just always either getting blown out or blowing teams out, or if he was definitely our go-to guy. He was available for the full season. That's 59 games. That's as many, up there with the rest of the season. So I don't quite remember what that was all about. But he put up 2 full WAR for us that year. He was awesome. Every year he's just been, pretty solid. He's got some blown saves, and every year he's gotten more and more save opportunities as we've gotten better, obviously, last year. he had a chance to have a lot of saves because we were a very good team. And yeah, we have him on a pretty pretty decent contract. We gave him $100 million over 6 years after he opted out of the previous extension that we had him on, where he was on similar amount of money. I was thrilled that he took this, even if he chooses to opt out after his age 35 or before his age 35 season. I think that would be totally fine. Now to the batters in our current squad, starting with the talisman, the best player on our team, our fearless leader of a shortstop, Carson Williams, homegrown, home developed player, and he's just a monster at shortstop. And as you see, we have him extended through the 2044 season. Sorry. So if he there's some opt outs in there, but if he stays for that whole contract, he's going to make a ton of money. And obviously he's already one of the best players. He only needs a few more years to be the best, far and away best player in franchise history. Obviously a pretty good hitter. He's got that great gap power, good enough void Ks that have gone up over the year. He's struck out less and less each year as that's improved. We've had him focused to train on that just because we already have enough guys, a couple other guys who strike out enough. We really needed him to not strike out as much. And his defense has just gone up and up the whole time. He was originally just like pretty good. Now he's obviously very good. Maybe not quite elite as a defensive shortstop, sort of at the level that you want in a game in this game. Yeah, he's great. He is the first guy on the team sheet every day. We mostly bat him second. Um, he's protected by our two better pure hitters. But yeah, the last 2 years, 6.5 and 7.1 WAR respectively. He's been an All-Star a couple of times. Has appeared on the MVP voting. Doesn't have an MVP award. Obviously, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt are still in the American League, so it's a bit jammed up there at the top of the shortstop charts. So it's tough for him to get those silver sluggers and gold gloves. He's got some stiff competition. So yeah, he's the man. We love watching him play. We brought him up 2025 that first year, half a season, proved that he could do it, and has done it ever since. Has always played up to 150 games. That's pretty solid for a shortstop. We DH him every now and then. When we want his bat or he comes into pinch hit. Has hit over 20 home runs in all seasons except the first one, and if that was a full season, he would have got there. Finally went 2020 last year. Already has 25 WAR in 4.5 seasons with us. It puts him in like the top 3 already for this franchise. He's just awesome. Very, very happy with how he's developed and hope he, stays this good for a long time. We have him locked up through his age 34 season. It ramps up and, it gets up into that 40 million range. We do have a slightly higher, what I think is a more realistic um, inflation in this save. So 40 million maybe by 2035 isn't going to look so bad for an everyday elite shortstop. Um, you know, Hopefully he's good enough that he opts out after 34. But at that point, who even knows if I'll still be there? What the team's going to look like? We might have enough money to extend him again. Hopefully we do, of course, if he's good enough to opt out. But if he ends up staying for those last 6 seasons, that's 25 million we might just have to eat. But we're really hoping that he can just stay healthy that whole time and be a productive member of this team for, uh, you know, the near and long term future. Next up is another homegrown infielder, also center of his partner in the last few seasons in the center of the diamond. Braden Taylor has been for the most part our everyday second baseman for the better part of this whole save. He broke in with the team in 2025 a little bit. The next year he was quite good, good enough to play most of those games. He might have been back and forth that season. The next year, I believe he got hurt, so he didn't play the full season. And then the last 2 years, he's been good. Especially last year, he was awesome. I mean, 5.6 WAR. He had 141 OPS plus. Scored the most runs. He was our leadoff guy last year. I think we are going to DH him this year. I want Oh, you'll see. I have a better option at second base now. He's just not quite good enough defensively for second base. He can hit, that's great. He'll definitely get some time at second and third, because he can fill in there when we need him. But I just wanted a slightly better defensive option, and I don't really have that much better DH options at the moment. He was a great hitter last year, so we'll give him some chance to DH, play even more games, and he can fill in at second base and third base when we need him to. Next, we have our everyday third baseman, Junior Caminero. Of course, a bit of a stud on the current Rays this year in 2025. He's been good. I don't think he's quite developed as much as I had originally hoped. Obviously, Carson has proven to be an even better product than Junior, but he's been fine. Every year that he's played most of the games, and he's hit above average, and he's been a good third baseman. I don't. It's nice to not have to worry about my third baseman. He's maybe not great, but is certainly good. Um, would love it if he could get at least one, Silver Slugger eventually. If he could hit a little bit better, he's got that power. He's only hit 30 home runs. What, once last year he hit just 30 homers. He Yeah, he's good. I don't think he's a little disappointing. But we have him um, just through this year, and we'll see what happens. I hope to extend him, of course. He's a very extremely popular player on this team. I'd love to keep our infield together for a little bit longer, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, he can prove me right this year and earn himself a nice big contract. Last of our homegrown uh, infield guys, Xavier Isaac. He is a great hitter. He's just a masher, prototypical first base. Unfortunately, his first base defense is a little bit lacking, but um, we've on and off DH'd him, but he's developed quite well. That avoid case really is just brutal. He's got just all of the highest strikeout seasons for this franchise every year. He's like leading or close to leading in strikeouts. That's just absolutely insane. So bit of a three true outcomes. Well, really two true outcomes. It's homers and strikeouts. He really does not walk at all. But he hits above average. That's what we need, of course. He's got a little bit lower WAR totals because of his poor defensive first base, or we use him as a DH when we had better first basemen and when Braden Taylor was playing second. And I think he's going to play first base this year for the most part. We'll see how it goes between him and Braden. I don't have a better first base defensive option, so he can play over there for now. Maybe I'll give him another chance to train at first base. But yeah, he's fun. He hits homers. He's maybe not as good of a hitter as we wanted him to be. If he could get just that one more tick up on the avoid Ks, that would be awesome. But yeah, I don't know. He's fun. I like him. He usually hits third. The last season, I think we did Braden Taylor, then Carson, then Xavier, then Junior was our front four against lefties and righties. And when they had to rest, we had other guys coming in. But that's basically what I intend to do again this year. Next, we have a very solid left fielder, Aiden Smith. Again, came up with the team, came up through the minors with us, has broken in the last couple of seasons, is an excellent defensive left fielder. He's mental, his personality, that's not amazing. And he's, pretty good. I wish he was a little bit better. 2 years ago, he had a much better hitting season. Last year, he regressed a bit. He's a overall pretty just well-rounded hitter, really pretty quick on the bases, but doesn't steal really very many bases, strikes out not a ton but a decent amount, and then plays a good left field. Has just won his first gold glove at left field. And yeah, he's good. He plays left field. He's not great against righties. Maybe that's why his OPS is a little bit lower than I had hoped last year, because I really did play him every day when he was available against lefties and righties. Maybe he would benefit from a little bit of platooning. Unfortunately, the last few years we have had such a stacked infield, and our outfield has really suffered. So he really has been one of our better outfielders and most consistent outfielders, and that's kind of saying something when he hasn't been all that great for us. But he's good. We like him. I like having another homegrown guy that I can bring out every day. Next, we have our new second baseman. We actually just traded for him a couple of days ago from the Cubs. You may remember he was the Rookie of the Year just a couple seasons ago, and he is obviously a much better second baseman defensively. Not as good of a hitter as Braden, but good enough to play pretty much every day, and he bats switch. So I'm very happy to bring him in, give Braden the chance to rest sometimes. He is actually better against lefties, not by much, but a little bit, which is great. He can sort of maybe a little bit platoon with Braden Taylor if we need him to, or if we feel like that might be helpful. But really fast, good second base defense, and can hit well enough, can get on base. He'll probably be in that, maybe fifth, maybe sixth, seventh ish range, maybe at the like we'll see how he goes. We haven't had a chance for him to prove it to us yet. That first year he was just incredible as behind the dish. 158 OPS plus in 2028. Last year he regressed immensely. Still solid production probably because of his defense, but yeah, I mean 95 games, 5.3 WAR. That was his Rookie of the Year season, and hopefully we can get him a little bit back in that direction, and that's going to be good for us. He is on the minimum. He will probably have arbitration after this year if we intend to play him every day. So we will see. Next, our center fielder is hopefully back. Jackson Merrill is a Montreal Rogue. That is correct. He had a good couple of years with San Diego, and then just in 2028, they were absolutely awful, and they were selling everybody. They were trying to shed payroll. And we were able to get him. We sent a good prospect over. I think it was maybe the real life Padres wouldn't trade him, but I don't know. He's not as good as he he didn't turn out as good as he's expected to be in real life. Maybe OSA thinks he's a little bit better. He's not the superstar that I think he is going to be in real life. So, within within this universe, I think it's a fairly realistic thing to have happened. 2028, he came to us after a mediocre first half and just absolutely lit it up. 3.9 WAR in 80 games at center field for us. And then you can see there is no 2029. Well, he ruptured his Achilles and was out for the entire year. I think that was in the playoffs. Yeah, October 4th, 2028, during a playoff game, ruptured his Achilles and missed all of the rest of the playoffs, obviously, and then all of last season. So really hoping he comes back strong. Our scout doesn't really know what to make of him because he hasn't played in so long. Hopefully he'll show up to spring training and be good to go. But yeah, we're gonna have him. We are intending for him to play center field every day for us because if he can be even close to this level, we're going to be very, very happy. We have him for another 2 seasons on 17 million. We do pay that entire thing. It was lower in that first 2 seasons. Obviously, it's scaled up. The contract they signed him to, and we'll see how much money he wants after this contract it comes to an end next year. The next guy we are going to just go over quick is our catcher, Drew Romo. We traded for him from the Rockies. He's been fine, typical, really good defensive catcher that you want in out of the park. And he can hit when he hits. It's good. It's a bonus. He's a switch hitter. Pretty much he's an even. There's no different splits. He's even against lefties and righties. And he's been, fine. That first year, again, we traded for him and he was awesome down the stretch. The next year he was bad. Last year he was okay. If we hope, I would love it if he was an average hitter again. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's going to get back up there. But with that defense, he's very productive. Would love to upgrade on him. He's not too expensive. Still looking out for our, everyday catcher of the future. Definitely a position that we want to be able to find someone who we don't have to worry about anymore. While we're here, let's take a look at our number one prospect, Gustavo Rubio. I am absolutely thrilled about this guy and the progress that he is making. We signed him as an international free agent a couple seasons ago. He is only 19 years old. He just turned 19, and he has already had a full, very productive Double-A season. He's going to start in Double-A again this year, just because he doesn't. He's not. I don't think he's quite good enough for AAA. I'd like to keep his morale kind of high. We'll monitor him closely if we want to bring him up in the next, in the first couple of months of the season, give him the shot in AAA. I would love it if we could have him in the majors next year, sometime in 2031. But in the meantime, we're going to keep an eye on him. He is, again, only 19. Good stamina, good enough stamina, really good stuff potential. He's got 5 pitches. If any of these, can get up towards their potential, we're going to be thrilled. We've been working on his control. His control has actually come up quite a bit. As you can see, it was down at just a couple years ago when we before we signed him, it was at 2. We've got it now up to 5, and the potential has actually gone up on it as well. He's one of the few guys, I'm sure he may not be a full 5-star kind of pitcher, but, we've had him for a couple full seasons now, and his potential stars haven't dropped like most guys do. So we're very excited about him around here. Gustavo Rubio, name to watch out for. And with that, I'm going to move on a little forward. Thanks for watching this video. I think the next video, we are going to do the first couple rounds of the MLB draft, which I have to take place on February 1st. And then we'll do the opening day. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, share with your other baseball-loving friends if you can. I intend to upload a video every couple of days. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.